Hello, my name is Ginny Vreeland, and this is The Shape of My Faith. On waking up in the morning, I start by offering gratitude, and I dedicate my day to God. My prayer time is usually a quiet time. Sometimes I do reading, sometimes I read scripture, and sometimes from a devotional book, and then I spend time in quiet, listening to what God might have to say. My favorite books about faith, the first one is An Altar in the World by Barbara Brown Taylor. She talks in her book about how insight into the divine flows through personal experience, particularly in nature and through fellow human beings. This connects with me very deeply. Right now, I'm reading a book by James Finley on the dark night of the soul. It was written in a dark time of his own, when he was unable to find comfort and solace in his usual spiritual practices. He writes of his surrender in the quiet to divine will. Early on, my early experiences of God had no words. I experienced moments of feeling a presence with me, especially in moments of turmoil, and the feeling was peace and being loved. As a child, the adult world I lived in was often unpredictable and confusing, but I always had the sense that there was something bigger and fuller in my life than the adults around me. As a child, I had many experiences of being visited in moments that felt unsafe by this gentle, enfolding, loving presence. And later, much later, I understood this to be God. My first such memory as a child was about age 3. My father had just returned from World War II. He was taking me swimming in our local lake. I was so proud to be with my father. He brought me out to the dock where the water was way over my head. He told me to jump, and he said he would catch me. I then jumped. He backed away, and I went straight to the bottom. At first I was terrified, but suddenly I felt like gentle hands holding me and bringing me up. The feeling I had was a certain soft peace. The hands did not belong to any person. In my mind, I called this feeling love. When I surfaced, my father said he was showing me that I wouldn't drown. It has been a life lesson for me that has grown over many years. Because of this story, the story of Peter being pulled up by Christ when he was doubting means a lot to me. Now I feel the enfolding presence as I did in that moment frequently during daily life. It has become a metaphor. When I worry, I know that Christ is always present. As for doubt, I cannot say that I have ever doubted the presence of God. However, I do have many moments when I feel unworthy. At these moments, it helps me to read Henry Nouwen. Nouwen struggled with depression, yet was a deeply holy man. I read John 1, Psalm 139, and Psalm 23 at these low times. It's also been very helpful for me to ask for prayer with Pastor Bill in difficult times. Experiences when I felt a strong connection to God, there are so many. I will give one memory. This memory relates to my older son, Jeffrey. He is autistic and profoundly retarded. At the age of 15, he had an episode of intestinal bleeding and was admitted to the emergency room in the hospital. By X-ray, his intestines were so damaged that the medical plan was to do a colostomy. I was very upset because I knew that with his challenges, he would never be able to manage this. He was frantic, and out of control due to the unfamiliarity of all these exams. I stayed with him in his room, next to his bed. The night before surgery, I sat alone with him in prayer, my hands over his abdomen as he slept. In tears, I called on God. At that moment, my hands and arms felt like they were on fire, a totally new feeling for me. In the morning, Jeffrey was taken to the operating room, and I continued praying. After about 45 minutes, he was returned to his room with the doctor. The doctor came to show me the x-rays from the day before, and then the x-rays from that morning. The earlier x-rays showed many large fissures in his intestines, but the series from that morning were completely clean. No damage. A healthy intestine. The doctor said quietly, "I have no idea what happened, but I do know that we have to thank God." We stood together, the doctor, myself, and Jeffrey, and prayed in gratitude. For someone beginning a faith journey, my first advice is to find a Bible study with a group. Others are important as you journey in faith. Set time aside to talk with God in prayer. The words don't matter, just the authentic desire to know Him. Spend time journaling your thoughts as you seek. Find a devotional that works for you. There are many. Jesus Calling is a popular one, but you can just ask your pastor or a friend who uses one. Part of what I've done to enhance my faith journey is my volunteer work. I volunteer in a hospice, and I have found this the most fulfilling work I may have ever done. The honor of sitting with somebody who's passing over in those moments, holding a hand, holding the tears, holding the questions, and being able to talk to the family and comfort the family has enhanced my faith journey. It's one of my most special experiences. I recommend to anybody, anywhere in their faith journey, that they find some kind of work that serves other people. This is the best thing to enhance your faith journey, and this is what's helped me in mine.